Well, she's never bucked anybody off, right?
That's not exactly true.
A few rides ago, Brian said she gave a little bit of trouble where she was kind of bronking around a little bit. Hey y'all, Nate Eicher from Eicher Ranch. Today we have Brian with us. Brian is all the way from California. Brian, you drove here for the clinic we got coming up and for some help with your horse. You have a good trip down?
Highest highs, lowest lows, and the third day was somewhere in between.
Awesome. Well, tell us a little bit about your horse and what's going on with her.
Her name's Koya. We believe she's 6 years old. She's a Devil's Garden Mustang. We sent her to our friend Brandy in Tehachapi, put 90 days on her, and she came back a really nice riding horse. Anyway, she came back super good riding horse, but she's a little bit like Drew Barrymore on 51st Dates. So sometimes like a tarp seems like a new tarp, and trailer loading seems like she's never done it before. And she does pull back, but as I've kind of worked through your program and watched your videos, like those things have gotten less and less. But we came out here today because our inspiration was Sierra, because Koya's got a little bit of Sierra in her. And I just retired. My wife's like, Nate and Ryan are doing a clinic at Nate's place. You're going. So here I am.
So you basically watch videos of Sierra. It sounds like you've watched a few of our videos, and that inspired you to work with her and get her to a better place. Is that kind of what helped you with her?
Yeah, so she was in a really good place, but the connection between us and my ability and skills weren't. So I
Okay.
kind of decided to just go back and watch all these videos from you and Ryan, and I basically started her over. It definitely improved her and it improved me tremendously. But the best thing was is that we got this connection where she trusts me.
Awesome. Well, what do you want me to do with her today?
So I would love to see. So I'm going to this. I'm in the clinic for the next 3 days, and I have an idea what I want to work on. But I'm not Nate Eicher. So I want Nate Eicher to evaluate my horse and see what he thinks she needs to work on. And then in the clinic, you can tell me what I need to work on. So I can practice these things for 3 days, take that information back home with me, and work on some stuff.
Okay, that sounds great. Well, I'm going to be brutally honest with you, right?
Yeah. And I hope you're more honest than you can be more honest than you are with some people. But
All
just keep
right.
in mind that you're going to be the fifth person to ride her. So good luck.
Okay. Well, she's never bucked anybody off, right?
That that's not exactly true. And last week she took me for a little ride. I was pretty proud of myself for handling it, but she kind of reverted back to her sinful ways last week. So
So she's got some of that in her yet, which is typical for a green horse. And we'll work on evaluating her and seeing where the holes are and what we need to work on.
that sounds great. Excited.
All right, let's get to it. All right, we wanted to point out this white spot on this horse. Now, some people will think that's a spur mark. Is it a spur mark?
No, she when she was adopted, she had that spot. Our best guess is she got poked by a tree or something when she was in the wild, but she's always had it.
Okay, so she's always had this white spot. So before you comment any brutal comments about spur marks, that is not a spur mark. It's just her coloring. All right, so as we go to work with this horse and try her out, I'm going to do a little bit of groundwork before I get to riding her and just test a few areas and see how she does. First thing I'm going to do, since she's standing here really good, in fact, I saddled her just to test that, and she was really good with that. She stood great. Brian has done a great job of teaching her how to ground tie, which is one of my big things that I do with my horses. And he's watched a lot of my videos and actually done what I teach, which is awesome, making this a great experience so far. Let's see how she goes around here. I like that she's walking off really good. being really patient here, which is great. If you've followed me at all, you know I like a horse that waits on me. And if they don't wait on me, I like to teach them patience. Because if a horse isn't waiting on me, I feel like I'm wasting my time riding them. And so this horse, they call Koya, if I pronounce that right, Koya. She's been really good about waiting, so we're gonna go ahead and ask her to step around here at a trot. And so far, this is really good. Let's yield. Good job. Well, Brian, I'm pretty impressed so far. And so far, you know, feeling her out here at the walk and trot, it feels really good. She didn't try to run off. She didn't try to buck. She didn't get crazy. She was a little delayed in her response, but we can always tweak that. Now, since I've seen the full range of motion with, you know, going through all that, she did good. So since I did all that, now I'm going to test her with something that moves, that has some noise to it, like a flag. And I'm gonna see how she responds to that. It's not like I'm trying to get her used to the flag. All I'm doing is seeing how she responds to things moving with noise, because if she responds in a very negative way, I wouldn't want to get on this horse anytime soon. If she kind of jumps a little bit but then settles in, that's fine. We can work with that. So this is really good. I'm asking her to move her hind end. Here I'm asking her to stand still. With my body language, I'm asking her to stand still. Hey y'all, Nate Eicher with a Function Health update. When I got my blood work results back a while ago, there were suggestions on a few things I should change. One of those being omega-3 that I was low in, and there's a few other things. And as I incorporated those things into my diet, I noticed that I was less tired and had more energy. So it just goes to show, if we're balanced in our body, it can make a significant difference on how we function. I'm excited to see what things will look like in 6 months from now when I go to do my follow-up visit. Lab visits are fast and convenient at 2,000 plus locations across the US. The sign-up, testing, and results are very easy and convenient to get. You can get $100 credit when you sign up. Just use code Eicher100. Hey, your health and how you feel is really important. It's better to be proactive and stay on top of things that really matter, like your health. And seeing how she does when I flap the flag on the saddle. This is a different kind of noise now. And this is a slick saddle, so it's a little louder when I do this, making her a little bit nervous. So we're gonna work on this just a little bit to see if she'll be able to handle it. I'm just staying with her. But as you can tell, I'm not trying to hold her. Like, this is a loose rope right here. And right there, she's trying. So I'm gonna release. Good job. It took her a little bit to find it, but I could tell she was trying to find it. She wasn't just running off mindlessly. All right, so we're going to put the snaffle that Brian typically uses on this horse on her. It's a smooth snaffle, egg butt. I really like how she took the bit and is just patiently standing here while I do all this. Now, before I get on a new horse, I like to bend them around and get up in the stirrup on each side. And when I went to bend her, she has really nice give right there. And so when I go to step on, not step in the saddle yet or sit in the saddle, but I like to step on here and ask them to yield the hind quarter. And that was a little bit of a quicker reaction than I would have liked to see. So we're going to ask a few times here. There we go. So that wasn't too bad. All right. Now the next thing I like to check is to see if the horse stands good when I get on. One of my pet peeves is a horse that walks off when I hit the saddle, meaning that they're not waiting on me. So Brian has done a really good job of teaching this horse how to stand still and wait. Like this horse is patiently waiting for the next move, which is amazing. Now, I'm shifting my weight around, shifting my hands around. She's still waiting. Here's where a lot of horses, like when you go like this, they start walking. And so I like this a lot. Now we'll go ahead and walk. And as I go to walk off, I'm riding close with my hands because I don't know this horse. I'm not going to walk off on a big old loose rein on a horse I don't know, unless I've seen that horse a lot and really have seen a lot of good things from it. So this is all good so far. I'm going to purposely ride a little sloppy and shift my weight around. I'm just checking, like, does anything set this horse off? Does anything make her anxious with me moving around? And so far, we're good. All right, the next thing I'm going to check is the response of the hindquarter yields. She is responsive off my feet. There was a little stiffness in her neck and her poll. Like right here, there's some stiffness. But I like that she's responding to my feet. That's really good. Let's try the front end. I'm going to step this front end across. Doesn't have to be perfect. Just want to see if this horse is responding wherever I ask her to go, to see if she responds to it. The biggest thing I'm seeing so far, I like to respond on both sides. Like she moved left, she moved right. The only thing I've seen in all of that was some stiffness through her poll and her neck as I was asking for it. Good job. Now, the question you might have watching this is, Why do you have a bit in her mouth? And what is she doing with her mouth as I'm asking for things? And if you could let me know in the comments if you ride your horse, what you ride your horse in. Do you ride in a Snapple bit or a Basel, however you want to say it, or a Hackmore? What do you like to ride your horse in? Maybe it's a halter? Let me know in the comments. With her, this seems like the right setup for this kind of horse. A Snapple bit is, one like this is really good. And I don't mind a horse moving their mouth like that. It doesn't bother me in the beginning stages like this. Kind of the analogy I use is like when a horse is learning how to carry themselves and learning how to be soft through their body and everything, they're going to move their mouth just to be like, oh, that's kind of a weird move, you know, that feels weird moving. And they're just showing it through their mouth. It's not because we're pulling hard or jerking or the bit hurts them. It's not any of that. And it's like, I compare it to when you go to the gym and start working out, when you're pushing weights and all that, like your mouth is often hanging open, like you're showing weird expressions. It's very similar to that, but as you get better and you start to figure things out and your body starts to feel comfortable doing it, then you can start doing it with style and looking very comfortable. So that's what I think about when horses kind of gape their mouth once in a while when their green broke. Unless you're in their mouth a lot with your hand and you're really pulling when you shouldn't be, then you're causing it. But everything we've been doing has been a gentle touch, a gentle tug. See right there, there's some stiffness going to the right. So we'll stay in this circle. We'll stay over here until that stiffness leaves. There we go. What I'm checking mostly here is to see if this horse will stay trotting or if she'll try to speed up and get fast. That's mostly what I'm checking here. And so far it's been good. Like she's had a very steady cadence to her right here. So because of that, I'm going to check for a little more softness. Right off the bat though, I can feel stiffness on this right side, kind of what I did when I was bending her around and yielding the hindquarter. So I'd personally like to see more softness over here. And here again, it's like going to the gym. You just got to work out on this side more. This side over here is naturally softer, I believe. Or maybe you've worked more on this side, it's hard to tell. But they always have a good side. And so this is probably naturally her better side. So we need to do more work on the right side to get a better feel over here. Like right there, when I tug to the right, she's dropping the shoulder and kind of stiff necking me a little bit. So that would be a cause of concern if I would go outside of this arena. If she would get scared, she would possibly stiff neck and take off that way. All right, let's go ahead and sit down and see how her stop is from the trot. And let's check this back up. This is one thing I should have probably checked earlier. And see how she's kind of gaping that mouth? It's not the mouth that I'm worried about, it's what she's doing with her feet. When she's kind of doing that with her mouth, she's saying, I'm stuck in my legs and I don't understand how to move my body in the way I should. So that's, her mouth is and the feel is telling me that. Where a lot of people, they would see that in the mouth and they would try to use a cavesson or something to shut the mouth. And to me, it's like, no, that's, that can work. There's nothing wrong with that, but it's not fixing the problem. Once they are comfortable backing up, the mouth will be very comfortable. The mouth will just do what it's supposed to do and just carry that bit. So what I'm doing is I'm just lightly tugging to see how long does it take for this horse to step back. And every time she does, I release, then I ask for another step. So this is a big thing I would work on. I like a horse that really understands how to walk backwards. That also builds back muscles. Good. So we're not trying to train her right now. We're just evaluating and giving opinions. All I'm doing is giving my opinion. It's just what I'm feeling right now. Let's try to lope her here. Wow, she's got a nice smooth lope. So right there, she fell out of lead. And took her a while to get back to it. But when she's loping, it's nice and smooth. The other thing I notice, is she notices shadows and she kind of reacts to them a little bit. Just an observation there. But boy, she's got a nice smooth lope when she does it. All right, let's try it on the right side. So we're going to ask for it here. And she kind of dove in with that right shoulder, which I expected. Right there, she dove in again. And then she kind of ran off with that left shoulder. So that's a steering issue. But overall, what I'm feeling with her, you kind of want to know what to work on, right? Okay. So in that short little evaluation there, here's what I'm feeling. I would get her softer in her movement on that right side especially. But I'd say the number one thing with the lope is getting her consistently loping. And we talked about this a little bit earlier. You kind of felt that. But I think what we're going to do is use this whole arena where we can kind of turn her loose and let her find her lope without steering too much, to where she's consistently loping on that right side and not trying to, when I was loping, she was either diving in or running out. So a lot of what's going on is the right side. She needs to get more balanced than the backup. I get her walking backwards a lot better. You've done a really good job of getting her going around nice on the ground. You've done a great job of getting her quiet. I love her mindset, how quiet she is, how she waits on me. So all of that you've got working for you. I would say, the backup, getting her softer on her right side and getting her loping in a free way both ways. Those three things I would work on next.
That was awesome. A bit of what I expected. What's interesting is the shoulder diving in. I want to learn how to correct that. I don't think I have the knowledge for that. I was aware of the right side being stiffer, but until I sat and watched you ride and explain it, I didn't realize how much impact it had on what we were doing. And where I'm at, I haven't loped her a whole lot, and when I have, I had the same problems that you had. But when it happens for me, I'm less comfortable, so we tend to shut it down. And it's kind of funny because I knew when she hit that shadow, she was going to break gait, and she did. She true to form. But
Yep.
so
Okay.
yeah, I'm really I feel like I was kind of on track with what I thought I needed to do, and I think you just like expanded on the importance of those things, and I didn't realize how integral they were as a building block.
Awesome. Well, I'm glad it made sense to you, and we got this clinic coming up where you got plenty of time to work on it and see where we get with it over the weekend here.
I'm super excited. Thank you, Nate. That was amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you all for watching, and we'll see y'all next time.